Hi guys, it's PanelHopper here again, and today I'm back with another Doctor Who video. This time I'm talking about a non-canon Doctor Who spin-off again. Uh, if you've been watching any of my videos for any time at all, you may have noticed that sometimes I do cover those. This time it's the infamous Downtime, a 1995 independently produced film, which, like a lot of these independently produced Doctor Who fan-made films of the 90s, uses elements from Doctor Who that they could afford to license, but obviously not the Doctor itself, or themselves, I should say, because you can't. So there's no Doctor, no TARDIS. What there is instead is a rambling mess involving the Brigadier and a proto version of Kate Stewart. I don't know if this is her first official appearance in any Doctor Who thing. I think it might be. And a plot that is very reminiscent of School Reunion and the Yetis. It is quite something. So, look, I don't make films. I don't have those talents. I enjoy writing as an enthusiast and an amateur, but I've never written a screenplay. However, those things don't excuse one's ability to criticize, because you can still recognize when things are poorly made, and this is poorly made. It is. So, when you watch a bad film, as I'm sure lots of people who you're watching this on YouTube, I'm assuming you're familiar with bad films. There's always that element where you can recognize what they were trying to make, but it doesn't quite come together, or they were trying really hard, but they just didn't have the budget. Downtime doesn't have a lot of those excuses. First and foremost, this feels like, if you watched a Doctor Who episode and you couldn't use the Doctor, and also you weren't paying attention, this is what you would make. There's a lot of very disjointed scenes that feel like, if they were properly paced and joined together, they would make the B story of a Doctor Who episode, and the Doctor would be in the A story part of the script, and you would cut back and forth between the two. But it's just this kind of really poorly paced, badly strung together B story, as I've said. I'm repeating myself, because it really has to be seen to be believed. I couldn't get through the whole thing. I watched. So it's an hour and a half long, about an hour and 40 minutes. I watched an hour, and the last 40 minutes I just couldn't do. It is. It's also painfully it's from 1995. Obviously, it's going to be dated, but it does feel like it was written by somebody who doesn't understand anything, even in 1995. So you have this, it's like School Reunion. You have this creepy school where the computers are being used by the Yeti to do whatever they want to do, revive the Great Intelligence, basically. And the writer of this, I can't remember their name, obviously decided that what they really hate is teenagers with Walkmans on. And so all the bad guys are teenagers with Walkmans on, or, teenagers. And that, their creepiness, they are a bit creepy, but their creepiness is exemplified in this film by the fact that they are listening to Walkmans the whole time, with 90s, well, faux 90s dance music on it. And it just feels very Old Man Yells at Cloud. That's what it feels like. I Like I said, sometimes when you watch an independent film or you watch a low budget film, you can see what the makers were trying to go for. But in this, it just feels desperate is the word I want to use. Desperate. Desperate to make a Doctor Who thing, but they can't. Desperate to prove that if they were given the keys to Doctor Who properly, they would do it, but they can't. Um, like, I can't say, for me, having seen very few fan-made things, particularly from the Wilderness years, it's the worst thing I've ever seen that's not an official Doctor Who thing. It made me think about when, when we think about Doctor Who spin-offs, when we think about official ones, Torchwood, Sarah Jane Adventures, Class, and there are parts of those that are terrible too. Class especially was lambasted for being barely connected to Doctor Who, not sure what it wanted to be about. But the thing is that if you took the Doctor Who references out of Torchwood, it would still function as a science fiction television show for older viewers. It would still be cheesy. I think that if you didn't have Captain Jack in it and you just had a different immortal American guy who was not connected to Doctor Who, it would still have those problems, but it would still function as a television show. It would be Welsh X-Files, but it wouldn't be Doctor Who, and maybe it would lose some cultural cachet because of that, but it would still function. Same with Sarah Jane. If you removed Sarah Jane and replaced her with a different non-Doctor Who related character and you removed K9, it would still function as a kids show. If you... Class basically didn't have any connecting tissue to Doctor Who, really, apart from a Peter Capaldi appearance in the first episode. It is bad, but it does still function as a television show, even if you don't enjoy it. Downtime can't say that. Downtime can't do that. It doesn't have that. It's just bad. And it speaks to Doctor Who fandom, or a certain section of Doctor Who fandom in the Wilderness years, that if you're in your mid-30s and you remember watching it in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, and then you have some money and a film camera and you can pay, retired actors a few £1,000 to show up for a half an hour, you felt like you could make something Doctor Who based. And it's just, yeah, like I said, it speaks to an arrogance, and it's not good. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Downtime, the Doctor Who fan film from 1995. It's terrible. You can watch it for free on YouTube. I suggest you do that, but you're not going to have a good time. Okay, bye.